Have you ever been in that confusing situation where you can just feel a woman is into you? She's giving you the looks. Her body language screams attraction. She laughs at your jokes. She texts you first sometimes. But then, suddenly, she pulls away. One moment she's warm, affectionate, leaning closer. The next, she's distant, unavailable, cold, almost like you did something wrong, but you don't even know what it was. It leaves you asking yourself questions like, did I say something to upset her? Is she losing interest? Why does she seem to want me one day but act like a stranger the next? And here's the twist most men don't realize. Many times when a woman pushes you away, it's not because she doesn't want you, it's because she actually wants you the most. That's right, sometimes distance, withdrawal, or even silence is not rejection. It's part of a deeper psychological pattern. In today's video, we're going to break this down step by step using female psychology, real-life examples, and practical strategies. By the end, you'll not only understand why women do this, but also how to respond in a way that keeps you in control, maintains attraction, and builds a stronger connection. So if you've ever been ghosted, ignored, or left wondering what went wrong, stick with me, because what you'll learn today could completely change the way you handle women, relationships, and even your confidence as a man. Main body. Section 1. The push-pull dynamic. To really understand why a woman pushes you away when she actually desires you, we have to talk about something called the push-pull dynamic in relationships. Humans, not just women, but especially women in dating, are wired for emotional intensity. When she feels too much attraction, it can actually trigger fear. Think of it this way. Attraction is like fire. When the fire burns too hot, too fast, what's the natural instinct? To pull your hand back before it burns you. Women often do this subconsciously. They'll feel a deep desire for you. Maybe they picture a future with you. Maybe they're scared of how much they care. Maybe they don't want to get hurt. That emotional intensity can be overwhelming. So what do? They pull back. They test. They create distance to see how you'll respond. Now here's where most men go wrong. When a woman pulls away, the natural reaction is panic. Men chase harder, they double text, they try to fix it, they demand answers. But from her perspective, this only confirms her fear, that her emotions are too risky, that she might lose control, that you're not the grounded, secure man she hoped you were. The truth is this: her pulling away is often a reflection of her internal conflict, not your worth. She wants closeness, but she fears it at the same time. She desires you, but she's afraid of rejection, abandonment, or losing her independence. And if you understand this, you gain power. Instead of reacting with desperation, you can respond with calmness, patience, and strength. Example: think about a woman who's been hurt in the past. Maybe she gave her heart to someone who betrayed her. Now, when she meets you, and she feels those strong emotions rising again, her defense system kicks in. She thinks, this feels too good. What if I get hurt again? So she pushes away, not because you're unworthy, but because she feels too much. This is why you'll often hear men say, she was amazing, everything was going perfectly. Then suddenly she pulled back. It wasn't about him doing something wrong. It was about her wrestling with her own emotions. Natural hook to keep viewers interested. Now you might be wondering, okay, but how do I actually respond when this happens? Should I give her space? Should I confront her? Should I walk away? We're going to cover all of that in detail. But before we do, let's peel back another layer of psychology that explains this even deeper: the fear of vulnerability. Because here's the secret: the more she cares, the scarier it feels for her. And once you understand that fear, you'll know exactly why women behave the way they do, and how to turn it in your favor. Section 2. The fear of vulnerability, approx 1,800 words. Let's dive deeper into one of the most important drivers behind this strange behavior: A woman's fear of vulnerability. When a woman pushes you away, even when she feels drawn to you, she's often protecting something very delicate, her heart. See, vulnerability is both exciting and terrifying. On one hand, it creates intimacy, connection, and closeness. On the other hand, it exposes her to rejection, betrayal, and pain. And women, especially women who have been hurt in the past, are often highly aware of this risk. Think about it. Every time she opens up, every time she lets you in, every time she invests emotionally, she's putting herself on the line. If you walk away or if things don't work out, she's the one left broken. So what does she do? She creates distance as a shield. The paradox of desire. Here's the paradox most men miss. The stronger her attraction, the more vulnerable she feels. The more vulnerable she feels, the more she tries to protect herself. And the way she protects herself is by pushing you away. This is why so many men misinterpret her behavior. They assume distance equals lack of interest. In reality, distance often equals too much interest. Story example. Imagine this. You meet a woman who's magnetic. She lights up the room, she has a great sense of humor, and the two of you click instantly. The first few dates are amazing. She leans in, touches your arm, laughs freely. She even tells you, "I feel so comfortable around you." Then, out of nowhere, silence. She cancels plans. Her texts slow down. Suddenly she's busy. Most men panic here. They think, she's losing interest. I need to chase harder. They send long texts, try to win her back, or demand to know what's wrong. But what's really happening? She's feeling vulnerable. She's realizing, wow, I actually like this guy. He could hurt me. I need to protect myself before I fall too deep. Her pulling away has nothing to do with losing attraction, and everything to do with managing the storm inside her. What this means for you, the key here is to not take her distance personally. If you internalize it, if you think it means you're not good enough, you'll react with neediness. Instead, you need to understand that her pushback is often just a defense mechanism, and if you remain calm, grounded, and confident, you'll show her that she doesn't need to protect herself so much. That's when she'll slowly allow herself to be vulnerable with you again. Section 3. Female tests and emotional safety. Now, let's talk about something every man needs to understand. Tests. When a woman pushes you away, sometimes it's not just about her own vulnerability. It's about testing you. Women test men not because they want to play games, but because they need to feel safe. Safe that you're not going to lose control. Safe that you won't crumble under pressure. Safe that you can handle her emotions without running away or breaking down. So when she withdraws, delays replies, or creates distance, she's often unconsciously asking, can I trust this man to stay calm when I'm not perfect? Will he remain secure, or will he spiral into insecurity? Is he the kind of man who values himself, or will he beg for my attention? Think of it like this. If you're walking across a bridge, what do you do first? You test its strength. You apply a little weight, bounce slightly, see if it wobbles. Women do the same thing with men. They apply pressure to test if you're solid. And here's the truth. A man who passes these tests becomes infinitely more attractive because she sees him as a source of strength, stability, and leadership. Common tests. When she pulls away. Silence test. She doesn't text for a while to see how you react. Do you blow up her phone, or do you stay composed? Cold behavior test. She acts distant or distracted in person. Do you demand answers, or do you stay relaxed and let her mood pass? Jealousy test. She mentions other guys or acts like she's not that invested. Do you crumble, or do you calmly show that you're secure? The right response. When you face these moments, the golden rule is this: respond, don't react. If you chase, argue, or demand reassurance, you fail the test. If you remain calm, confident, and continue living your life, you pass. This doesn't mean ignoring her completely. It means balancing presence with self-respect. Show interest, but don't beg. Care, but don't cling. The more solid you are in yourself, the safer she feels to stop pushing you away. Natural hook to keep viewers interested. So now you know, sometimes when a woman withdraws, it's not rejection. It's actually attraction mixed with fear. But here's the big question. What do you actually do in the moment? When she stops replying, when she acts cold, when she pushes you away, what's the step-by-step strategy to handle it like a man? That's exactly what we're going to cover next. The blueprint for responding without losing attraction. Because once you master this, you'll never chase a woman again. She'll naturally come back to you. Section 4. The blueprint for handling distance. Approx 2,000 words. So far, we've uncovered the psychology. Women pull away when they feel too much attraction, not too little. They do it to protect themselves from vulnerability. Sometimes they're also testing your strength, composure, and emotional balance. But theory only gets us so far. The real question is, what should you actually do when this happens? Most men either chase harder or withdraw completely. Both extremes are mistakes. The secret is to follow a balanced blueprint that keeps attraction alive while showing strength. Step 1. Don't panic. The first rule is simple but powerful. Stay calm. When she starts to withdraw, your natural instinct will be to chase, demand answers, or overthink. But women can sense this panic instantly, and nothing kills attraction faster than desperation. Think of yourself like a rock in a river. The water may swirl, rush, or rise, but the rock remains steady. That steadiness makes her feel safe. So when she pulls away, breathe. Do nothing impulsive. Remind yourself, this isn't rejection, this is psychology. Step 2. Match her energy without mirroring weakness. If she slows down her texts, you slow yours too, but not out of spite, out of self-respect. If she cancels plans, don't argue or beg. Simply say, "No worries, let me know when you're free." This shows her you're not dependent on her for your emotional stability. You're calm, secure, and capable of enjoying life with or without her. Step 3. Stay busy. Stay purpose-driven. One of the most attractive things you can do when a woman creates distance is to double down on your purpose. Instead of sitting around analyzing her behavior, focus on your career or business, your fitness and health, your hobbies and passions, your friendships and social life. When she sees that her pulling away doesn't throw you off your mission, it triggers respect, and respect fuels attraction. Step 4. Keep communication light and positive. If she does reach out, don't bombard her with heavy emotions or accusations. Keep things light, fun, and positive. Example, she texts you after days of silence. "Hey, sorry, I've been busy." Weak response. "Busy with what? You've been ignoring me." Strong response. "No worries, glad to hear from you. How's everything going?" The strong response communicates maturity, patience, and composure. It shows you're not punishing her, but you're also not desperate. Step 5. Rebuild momentum. Slowly, when she starts leaning back in, don't rush. Attraction is like a flame. Too much oxygen and it dies, too little and it fades. Instead, feed the fire gradually. Keep interactions playful. Avoid heavy relationship talks until she's consistent again. Let her invest in you slowly. Remember, the goal isn't to chase her back, it's to hold your ground until she chooses to return on her own. Section 5. Real-life examples and role plays. Now let's make this practical with real-life scenarios. Scenario 1. Texting distance. She used to text all day, now she replies hours later. Wrong reaction. Double texting. Asking, "Why are you ignoring me?" Sending long emotional paragraphs. Right reaction. Mirror her pace. Slow down too. Keep your texts light, short, and positive. Example: if she finally replies, say, "Hey stranger, good to hear from you." Playful, not needy. This shows you're still interested but not dependent. Scenario 2, cancelled plans. She cancels your date last minute. Wrong reaction: "Wow, really? I cleared my schedule for you." Guilt tripping her. Right reaction: "No worries, let me know when you're free." Then move on with your night. Post a story hanging out with friends or doing something productive. This proves you value your time and won't sulk. That confidence makes her rethink pulling away. Scenario 3, acting cold in person. You meet her and she's distant, less affectionate, less engaged. Wrong reaction: asking, "Are you mad at me?" Trying harder to entertain her. Right reaction: stay relaxed. Match her energy, but don't overcompensate. Lightly call it out with humor. "You're quiet today, are you trying to act mysterious?" If she stays cold, cut the interaction short. "Seems like you've got a lot on your mind. Let's catch up later." This shows you're empathetic but not needy. You won't beg for attention, which, ironically, often makes her chase you harder. Natural hook to keep viewers interested. Now here's where it gets interesting. Up until now, we've been talking about handling her distance in the short term, but what about the long game? How do you build a relationship where she doesn't feel the need to push you away at all? How do you create so much emotional safety that she leans into you, not away from you? That's what we'll explore in the next section. The long-term mindset that prevents this push-pull cycle from ruining your connection. Section 6. The long-term mindset. So far, we've talked about the immediate response when she pulls away. But if you only focus on short-term tactics, you'll be stuck in a cycle of constant guessing games. What you really want is to build a dynamic where she doesn't feel the need to push you away in the first place. This requires a shift in mindset. Stop focusing on what she's doing and start focusing on who you're being. Mindset. Shift number 1. Attraction isn't about control. Many men think if they just say the right thing, send the right text, or play the right game, they can control how a woman feels. But attraction isn't about control, it's about energy. It's about how she experiences herself when she's around you. If she feels free, safe, excited and respected, she'll naturally want to stay close. If she feels pressured, smothered or judged, she'll naturally pull away. So instead of trying to manipulate her reactions, focus on becoming the kind of man women don't want to pull away from. Mindset shift. 2. Boundaries over begging. One of the biggest mistakes men make is thinking unconditional availability equals love. It doesn't. It equals weakness. Women respect men who have boundaries, men who value their time, energy and emotions. Men who can say no when something doesn't feel right. Example: if she constantly flakes on you, don't reward that behavior with more chances. Respectfully step back. When she sees you won't tolerate disrespect, she'll think twice before pushing you away again. Boundaries aren't about being harsh, they're about being clear, and clarity builds respect. Mindset. Shift 3. Balance masculinity with emotional safety. Here's the paradox. Women crave strength, but they also crave safety. They want a man who can lead, but also a man who can listen. If you're all strength with no empathy, she feels unheard. If you're all empathy with no strength, she feels unsafe. The balance looks like this. You stay grounded, calm, and decisive. You also make her feel that her emotions aren't too much for you to handle. When she realizes she can be vulnerable without losing your respect, she stops needing to test you by pulling away. Section 7. How to create emotional safety without losing masculinity. Approx. 1,800 words. Now, let's get specific. How do you create an environment where she feels secure enough to lean in while still respecting you as a strong masculine leader? 1. Validate. without over-explaining. Validation doesn't mean agreeing with everything she says. It means acknowledging her emotions without making them wrong. Example, she says, "Sometimes I get scared of getting too close." Weak response, "Well, you shouldn't feel that way. I'd never hurt you." Sounds defensive, dismissive. Strong response, "I get it. Getting close can be scary. I respect that." By validating, you acknowledge her fear without trying to fix it. This makes her feel seen, not judged. 2. Stay grounded when she's emotional. There will be moments when she's upset, distant or emotional. This is your chance to prove you're not easily shaken. Instead of arguing back, listen. Instead of reacting, stay calm. The message you send is, no matter how intense things get, I remain steady. That steadiness is magnetic. It makes her trust you more deeply. 3. Keep your own life full. A man with no life outside of a woman becomes suffocating. She feels like she's carrying the weight of his happiness. But a man who has friends, hobbies, passions and goals creates a sense of freedom. She realizes, he doesn't need me, but he chooses me. That's powerful. That makes her want to stay close, not pull away. 4. Use humor to defuse tension. Humor is one of the fastest ways to turn resistance into closeness. Example, she says coldly, "You're so confident it's annoying." Instead of getting defensive, smile and say, "Annoying in a charming way though, right?" This shows her that you're not easily rattled, and laughter breaks down walls faster than arguments ever could. 5. Respect. Space without punishing. If she truly needs space, give it. Don't guilt-trip her, don't complain, don't withdraw affection. Instead, calmly say, "Take all the time you need. I'll be doing my thing." This shows you respect her process, but you're not waiting by the phone. That balance creates both safety and attraction. Natural hook to keep viewers interested. So now you understand how to build a foundation where she feels both attracted and safe. But here's the kicker. Even if you do everything right, there will still be moments when she tests you. That's just part of female psychology. The question is, how do you handle those tests like a king? Because if you fail, she'll pull away harder. But if you pass, she'll never forget you. That's exactly what we'll cover in the next section. The king's response. Mastering tests so she chases you instead of pushing you away. Section 8. The king's response. Mastering female tests. Approximate 2,500 words. We've talked about attraction, vulnerability, and emotional safety. But here's a truth you need to accept. No matter how confident, grounded, or attractive you are, women will test you. Why? Because tests aren't about games, they're about survival. A woman needs to know if you're strong enough to handle her storms. If you crumble under small tests, she won't trust you with bigger ones. The king's response framework. When she pulls away, goes cold, or challenges you, here's the formula to follow. Stay calm. Never let her see panic. Keep it light. Use humor or playful energy instead of confrontation. Hold boundaries. Don't accept disrespect, but enforce it with strength, not anger. Lead the frame. Don't fall into her emotional frame. Guide the interaction with confidence. Example, silence test. She ignores your text for 2 days. Wrong reaction. Why are you ignoring me? Sending 10 messages. King's response. Wait. Continue your life. When she texts back, reply warmly but without over-investing. Good to hear from you. How's your week going? You didn't punish, you didn't beg, you remained steady. That's king energy. Example, cold behavior test. She's distant on a date, arms crossed, not engaged. Wrong reaction. What's wrong? Did I do something? Trying too hard to win her attention. King's response. Stay calm, smile, and say, "You seem a little distracted tonight. Want to reschedule when you're in a better vibe?" This flips the script. Instead of chasing her energy, you set the tone. You're not desperate for her attention. You value your time. Example, jealousy test. She mentions other guys. My coworker is so funny. He always makes me laugh. Wrong reaction, getting jealous, asking, do you like him? King's response, smile and say, good thing I'm funnier then. Confidence, humor and composure. That's the king's way. Section 9. Flipping the push-pull dynamic, approx 2,000 words. Here's the ultimate secret. When you stop chasing, when you hold your frame, when you pass her tests, the push-pull dynamic flips. Instead of her pulling away, she starts chasing you. Why? Because she realizes you don't need her validation. You're not shaken by her distance. You're a man with options, purpose and self-respect. Suddenly, she's the one overthinking. She's the one wondering, why isn't he chasing me? Does he like me as much as I like him? I better invest more before I lose him. This is the power of flipping the script. You move from being the pursuer to being the prize. And here's the beautiful part. When she sees you as the prize, she stops pushing you away, because deep down she knows she doesn't want to lose you. Section 10. Motivational conclusion, approx 1,500 words. So let's bring it all together. If a woman pushes you away, it doesn't always mean rejection. In fact, many times it means the exact opposite. She wants you so much it scares her. Her pulling away is a sign of vulnerability, fear of getting hurt, testing your strength. And if you handle it the wrong way, by chasing, begging, or panicking, you only confirm her fears. But if you handle it the right way, with calmness, boundaries, humor, and purpose, she comes back stronger than before. Key lessons. Recap. Attraction triggers fear as much as desire. Her distance is often about her, not you. Tests are opportunities, not punishments. Pass them with calm confidence. Boundaries create respect. Never sacrifice your self-respect for temporary closeness. Purpose makes you magnetic. A man on his mission is irresistible. Be the prize. When you stop chasing, she starts investing. Final words of motivation. Remember, brother, your worth doesn't come from her attention. It doesn't come from her texts, her moods, or her validation. Your worth comes from who you are, what you stand for, and the life you're building. When you embody that truth, women will feel it. And the ones who matter will never want to let you go. So the next time a woman pushes you away, smile. Don't panic. Don't chase. Just stay grounded, keep moving forward, and let her see what kind of man you really are. Because the man who stays calm when she pulls away is the man she can't stop coming back to.